You guys have been absolutely amazing with all of the support here on the channel. Thanks to you guys, we managed to land one of those coveted join buttons. We hit YouTube partner over the last year, and I just want to say thank you. And look, I know I make content for the casuals, but your support is always appreciated here on the channel. So if you enjoy the content, make sure you guys smack that like button, smack the subscribe button, and consider becoming a channel member because you guys get early access to all of my videos, special permissions in the Discord, and much, much more. Today, we're going to be breaking down all of the artifact mods for episode 2 Revenant because Stasis and Arc are definitely on the front page here. And I am not going to lie, those are two subclasses that I rarely used prior to this season, but they're making waves. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into these artifact mods. So for starting off in column 1 here with all of our champion mods, we have anti-barrier scout rifle, overload submachine gun, unstoppable pulse rifle, anti-barrier shotgun. I'm never ever going to use this. And we have overload breach loaded grenade launchers. So all those grenade launchers in your kinetic and energy slots will work with this mod. Starting off in column 2, we've got one with frost. While frost armor is active, stasis weapons gain increased reload speed and stability. Stasis swords gain increased guard resistance. And it is a good amount of guard resistance here. I noticed that when we were doing some testing earlier, you could usually get away with guarding like twice as long, depending on the sword you're using. Especially with the efficiency perks and everything that swords have. This could be a very good one if you are someone who uses swords, or your all stasis weapons will gain increased reload speed for that. Killing breeze, rapid weapon final blows grant you a bonus to mobility. Weapon final blows with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait count as more than one. So all the seasonal weapons will count as more than one kill if you get rapid weapon final blows with this one. Next up, we have enhanced ether generator. Which states the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait has a chance to spawn an extra Dark Ether charge. Weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait are overcharged when that modifier is active. So if the modifier is active, you get the overcharged for that weapon there, depending on the activity that you're doing. Next up, we have Fell the Revenant. Deal increased weapon damage to Scorn. Wearing Shade Stalker armor, currently 0 out of 4, increases the bonus damage. So if you're wearing the seasonal armor with this, you do deal increased weapon damage to Scorn. I do need to, I have a different build on, but I do have a 4 out of 4 on that one. And then lastly in this slot, we have rapid impacts. Dealing damage with a grenade launcher temporarily increases the reload speed of grenade launchers. This one paired with the new stasis GL from this season. I'm not even going to attempt to butcher the name, so I'll just pop it up on the screen here for you. But that GL works perfectly with this mod. It's amazing. Salvage or Salvo is another great one. I've been using a lot of wave frames with this. Great option here. In column 3, we've got Wind Chill. Rapid stasis weapon precision hits grant you a stack of frost armor, which is amazing because frost armor is just so easy to get already. And then dark rapid precision hits from weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait get you more stacks of frost armor. So if you're using seasonal weapons, it's kind of the theme here. Using seasonal weapons will get you a more out of the effect here. And then boost from the tonics is dealing damage with stasis weapons to slow targets has a chance to spawn a stasis shard. So kind of just tying back into itself, you get stasis shards for another stack of frost armor. Up next, we have Crystalline Converter. Gathering stasis shards to gain stacks of Crystalline Converter. Your next powered stasis melee hit creates stasis crystals equal to the number of stacks you have, which can just put ice basically everywhere. This is going to be my next unlock as soon as I get another unlock here on this artifact. The boost is stasis and weapon final blows. After activating your class ability, spawns a stasis shard, which, yeah, this is the best in this lineup or in this column here. Crystalline Converter is when you're not going to want to sleep on. Next up, we have Total Carnage. After finishing a powerful combatant, gain temporary damage resistance while you have 2 or more Shade Stalker armor pieces equipped. After finishing a powerful combatant, gain increased temporary damage resistance and replenishes health. So not only do you get the damage resist, but you also get a health regeneration with this one. Next up, we've got Power from Pain, which is another one that is really good in this column. Rapid final blows against weakened combatants grant you Devour, and with the amount of ways that you can proc weaken on enemies, this is a no-brainer. It's going to literally keep you with Devour up all the time, especially if you're on debuff duty, you're on a void subclass or something like that. This is going to be great. Trace Evidence. Rapid precision hits or rapid final blows on targets affected by jolt or blind will generate ionic traces, which is awesome because you either only need to get rapid precision hits or kill an enemy that is jolted or blinded to get this to proc. And then the boost with the tonics is picking up an ionic trace grants an armor charge. So not only are you able to tie this into like something like Grenade Kickstart to get a grenade back, or you could tie it into one of the armor perks that reloads your weapons for you, whatever. This is going to be a great option there. Column 4, we have Armor of Aramis. While Frost Armor is active, taking critical damage from combatants causes you to emit a freezing burst, which will freeze enemies. And with a tonic boost, increases the radius and strength of this freezing burst. So it does more damage and it has a wider AoE, which is never a bad thing. We've got Hail the Storm. Shattering stasis crystals releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets, and it's pretty good. I'm honestly just testing this one out, but it is pretty dang good. I do like the fact that it shoots in 4 directions instead of just like 1 or just in the small area, and anything that it hits freezes, which is awesome. Shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals does increase damage if you have a tonic that boosts this ability. So next up, we have Hail the Storm targets. If you do have this artifact mod boosted with a tonic, shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals deals increased damage. So just doubling up on that damage effect. We don't have damage numbers just yet, but I'm sure it'll be something like 15 or 20% or maybe even half. I might do a 50% damage increase. Debilitating Wave, one of my favorites here. We got finishers emit a damaging wave that matches the element of your currently equipped super. So if you have an arc, void, or stasis super equipped, the blast will also apply blind, weaken, or slow, depending on which, subclass you have. I think the void one is fantastic, but the stasis slow is also nice because it gives you an opportunity to like get away from the danger after you apply the slow to them. Next up, we have Concussive Reload. Using a grenade launcher to damage a boss, damage a champion, or break a combatant shields weakens them. So this just automatically will apply weaken right away. So it's going to tie in to some of your other artifact mods here. And if you boost it with a tonic, using a grenade launcher to damage bosses, champions, or break combatant shields automatically reloads stowed weapons as well. So you can literally get reload if you run double GL with the new stasis GL and any other energy slot GL, like a void one or whatever. This will definitely be useful because you could literally just go back and forth with, each GL, just kind of reloading it, shooting your shot, reloading it, shooting your shot, and all the stowed weapons will get reloaded as well. Lastly, in this column, we've got Retinal Burn. Rapid arc weapon precision hits consume an armor charge to blind the target. So if you have something like Powerful Attraction to grant you armor charges, you will be able to just pick up orbs to grant you armor charges and then use them to blind targets, especially like bosses or I'm sorry, not bosses, but yellow bars, higher level enemies. This will be definitely helpful. You can't boost it with a tonic. Blinding a target this way instead emits a blinding burst, so it will blind nearby targets as well. Great option there. Lastly, in the last column for Act 1, we have Brain Freeze. Frozen combatants become surrounded by chilling fog, which slows combatants that aren't already. So if it's already slowed, not gonna work, but anything that is nearby will be slowed. And weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait deal more damage to frozen combatants, which is going to be sick. Next up, we have Supernova. Picking up a Void Breach causes your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. This is going to be an awesome thing to weaken any ad that is nearby that enemy. It is going to be great for getting that final blow. And if you're using something like Tractor Cannon to debuff targets, it's going to put a blast out away from the boss to keep any nearby ads in check. Next up, we have Conductic Cosmic Crystal. Your arc abilities, void abilities, and weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait do bonus damage to targets that are affected by a stasis debuff. So slowed and frozen targets, they're going to be the name of the game. So if you're running an arc ability or a void ability, it's going to do bonus damage to those enemies. And if you boost it with a tonic, increase bonus damage to combatants affected by a stasis debuff, period. So this is going to just double up on that effect, giving you even more damage. Next up, we have Served Cold. Picking up a stasis shard grants you class ability energy. Picking up a Void Breach grants you melee energy. So you're kind of double dipping on your abilities there. It's either going to give you some class ability for picking up a stasis shard, and then picking up a Void Breach will grant you that melee energy. Ties well in with some of these other artifact mods. And lastly, in this last column here for Act 1 seasonal artifact mods, we have Kinetic Impacts for GLs. Sustained damage with a power grenade launcher causes the combatant to emit a shockwave that damages nearby combatants. The shockwave can stun unstoppable champions. So giving all of your heavy GLs a way to stun unstopped champions is going to be fantastic for endgame activity like Grandmaster Nightfalls, now that the new Banes are out, Onslaught, all that good stuff. So there you have it. Those are your artifact mods for Act 1. I will have an updated video when Act 2 and 3 come out for those artifact mods. I'm hoping we get something really, really juicy in terms of like sniper rifles maybe, or even SMGs maybe. There are some great stasis options. If you guys want to see the video about me going over the best stasis weapons to use for this season, some of the GL, some of the hand cannons, some of the SMGs, stick it here. Make sure you guys get subscribed, hit the like button, consider becoming a channel member. And with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one.